So today we are having His Grace Murari Vallabha Prabhu to enlighten us on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance on your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances onto your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much Prabhuji for your valuable association and valuable time to all of us. So thank you so much Prabhuji. Now you can take over. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, text number 160 onwards. Seka Jalapana Upasaka Badiyaya Stabdahana Mulasaka Badite Napaya. Translation and purport by A.C. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If one does not distinguish between the Bhakti Lata creeper and other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misused because of the other creepers are nourished, while the Bhakti Lata creeper is curtailed. Purport. If one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra while committing offences, these unwanted creepers will grow. One should not take advantage of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra for some material profit, as mentioned in the verse 159. Nishadaracharam Kutinati Jiva Himsanam Labha Puja Pratishtati Yata Upasakaganam. The unwanted creepers have been described by Sri Shakti Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He states that if one hears and chants without trying to give up offences, one becomes materially attached to sense gratification. One may also desire freedom from the material bondage like the Mayavadis, or one may become attached to the yoga siddhis or desire wonderful yogic power. If one is attached to wonderful material activities, one is called siddhi lobi, greedy for material perfection. One may be victimized by diplomatic or crooked behavior, or one may be associated with the woman for illicit sex. One may make a show of devotional service like the Prakata Sahajas, or one may try to support his philosophy by joining some caste and identifying himself with a certain dynasty, claiming a monopoly on spiritual advancement. Thus, with the support of family tradition, one may become a pseudo-guru or so-called spiritual master. One may become attached to the four sinful activities, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling and meat eating. Or one may consider a Vaishnava to belong to mundane caste or creed. One may think this is a Hindu Vaishnava, this is a European Vaishnava. European Vaishnavas are not allowed to enter the temple. In other words, one may consider Vaishnava in terms of birth, thinking one a Brahmana Vaishnava, another Shudra Vaishnava, another Melacha Vaishnava, and so on. One may also try to carry out professional business by means of chanting Hare Krishna mantra or reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Or one may try to increase his monetary strength by illegal means. Also, one may become a cheap Vaishnava by trying chant to the secluded place for material adoration. Or one may desire mundane reputation by making compromises with non-devotees concerning one's philosophy or spiritual life. Or one may become a supporter of hereditary caste system. All these are pitfalls of personal sense gratification. Just to cheat some innocent people, one makes a show of advanced spiritual life and becomes known as a sadhu, mahatma, or religious person. All this means that the so-called devotees has become victimized by all these unwanted creepers, and that real creeper, Bhakti Lata, has been stirred. 161. Pratame upasakarakare chedanan tabe mulasaki sabe mulasakabadi yaya vrindavanam. As soon as intelligent devotee sees the unwanted creeper growing inside, beside the original creeper, he must cut it down instantly. When the real creeper, the Bhakti Lata, grows nicely, returns home back to Godhead and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. Purport. If one misled by unwanted creepers and victimized, he cannot make progress to back to Godhead. Rather, he remains within the material world and engages in activities having nothing to do with the pure devotion service. Such a person may be elevated to the higher planetary system, but because he remains within the material world, he is subjected to the threefold material misery. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Cha Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashapadeshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayite Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyem Vanchakalpataru Bhaksha Krapa Sindubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This verse again. Teka Jalapanam Upashaka Badiyaya Stabdahana Mulasaka Badite Na Payam. If one does not distinguish between Bhakti Lata creeper and other creeper, the sprinkling of water is misused because of the other creepers are nourished while the Bhakti Lata creeper is curtailed. So again, in the translation, the Lord is telling to Rupa Goswami, some unnecessary creepers growing with the Bhakti creeper are the creepers of the behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection, diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. So he is explaining how creepers real Bhakti Lata Bij. Brahmande Brahmite, Kon Bhagyavan Jiva, Hari Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhakti Lata Bij. So we know that it is for us very, very important to avoid all this mundane adoration and mundane followers, everything. Mundane wealth, everything. It doesn't give us any mileage in one way. That's why we should understand what is creeper. Creeper means is unwanted. That's a weed. Is unwanted growth, not useful and no value, and it is undesirable. It has to be weeded out, separated out, and it should be eliminated. One of the reasons in the first text of the Bhagavad Gita, we have seen Dharmashetre Kurushetre Samavite Yusava. Now, there Dharmashetra was there, and Prabhupada explains there. In paddy field, we put more water, because whenever you put more water, the paddy is nourished, and the weeds are killed because they can't sustain with so much water. That's one reason. If you see paddy field, always water is there with the mud, everything. You cannot go inside. Your foot will get stuck. So much water is given. That is the reason the watering is, compare here, the chanting association, going to, all dams and reading books and hearing all the time. Then what will happen? Because the paddy field is given so much water all the time till it, gives rice. So same way, we have to continuously give water. Which way? By association, by reading, by listening, and going to temple, this will continuously 7 by 24 by 365. Then it is the weeds are curtailed, weeds are taken away. Here, the example is given what is unwanted. Unwanted is given in many ways. He says, Siddhi Lobi. Who is Siddhi Lobis? They want to do some mystic, power they want to have. What for they want power? They want to become adoration. They want to make some money, and they want. Otherwise, what is the use of Siddhi Lobi without Krishna? Krishna is the master of all Siddhis. We know that. And the other thing is Prakrata Sajis. What these people do? They are Apasampradaya. They think we are the followers of Nityananda, we are followers of Advaita Chandra. But whatever Lord Nityananda has done, or Advaita Chandra has propagated in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they don't want to do that. They just boast themselves and do whatever they want, not according to scriptures, not according to acharyas. These are known as prakadasajas, these are Apasampradaya. Now, there are pseudo-gurus. We know that in India, not only India, all over the world, there are pseudo-gurus. They themselves think they are God, or sometimes they give some money, we will initiate you. So many things are going on in this world. So we should not accept such stand. Now, the fourth one is explained here, is Varnashram type. Brahmana Vaishnava, Shudra Vaishnava, and Vaishya Vaishnava, like that. So these are also familiar tradition. We tell, this is family comes, and according to that we become Vaishnava according to our family. That is also not good. And some of them are cheap Vaishnavas. What they do? They go to secluded place. And they want some adoration, So these are people who wants to have their own selfish motive. There is nothing, because these are the people who have weeds. They have got so much, ignorance about Lord and everything. What is the purpose of doing all these things? Is to please Krishna, Radharani. Unless we please them, nothing we get in the life. So here, why some of the devotees are victimized? Because they follow this above things which we told, then they become their Bhakti Lila is stunted growth. We know that there are, in the human beings also, there are defects. There are stunted growth also because of some defect. So same defect is there because we are allowing our weeds to grow and our Bhakti Lata is not getting proper nutrition. The nutrition is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You need not pay any price for this, and you will be getting price, P-R-I-Z-E. The price is not there at all, and you can chant all the time, anytime, anywhere, any place. That's the beauty of this chanting. So once we know how to grow our Bhakti Lata Bij, how it grows, because all the weeds which are unwanted in our life, because they are not at all useful to us, and we have got no value for them, and it is undesirable. So we have to think. One of the Maharaj was giving example of good dog and bad dog in the heart. Most of the people, including me, we feed the bad dog. And what is the result? Bad dog will give, most of the time, bad habits. We are succumbed to these bad habits, and it's very difficult to come out that. And our Bhakti Lata Beach will be stunted growth. It stops growing because we are not feeding the good dog. So here also we see that what are the weeds. First of all, we should know that we have got 6 enemies within ourselves. That is Ankara, Mada, Moha, Mastara, all these things. And illusion also. So we should know that when we are getting illusioned by external energy, and again in the next stanza we say that Prabhupada explaining this is misled by unwanted creepers and it's victimized. So we should not be victimized by all these things because the world is consumerism, full of consumerism. Which you don't want, they will ask you, it is good for you. This vitamin is good for you. This phone is good for you. This television is good for you. This television show is good for you. This place is good for you. So many things, continuously, materialism, and it is, they want you to take this, which is not there. That's what here emphasize, whichever not there. Annabilas Shunyam Jnana Karmadi. So whenever which is favorable to Krishna, we should accept. Which is unfavorable to Krishna, we should reject. That is unfavorable is creepers here. Which unweed. The weed, we have know that just to take out the weed from our lawn, we have to use so many, pesticide and other things. They advertise so much. No weeds will be there, but they can't control it. Many times, many of the places, lawn has got weeds. Weeds has got so much capacity to grow very fast than the real grass. So we should know that in our life also there is so much effort we have to do to grow our real lata, but weeds can grow within so much time. They say that to have anything is not difficult, that is getting it, and throwing it doesn't take much time, but sustaining it, maintaining it, like Vishnu's material world, to maintain it is very, very difficult because there are so many obstacles in our way because of our attachment to our family, our friends, everything. So it is said that we have got all of us like 4 wheels of a car or any 4 wheels. It is not necessarily car. We have got 4 wheels. That is life. First wheel is of personal things. We want to have born. We are born. Then we are growing. We want to educate. We want so many things. Want. Education, good school, good college, good degree, good job, everything for personal. That's the first wheel. Then second wheel comes with family, children, everything. That we are attached. We are first attached to our work and earning. Second, we attached to second wheel. That is family, children, house, everything. Then comes relatives. That's the third wheel. Third wheel comes, relatives are necessary. Wife, father, mother, and other things. Whole friend circle will be there. Then social. Fourth wheel is a social gathering. Whenever we are a social animal one way, though we are. We have to socialize sometimes, so we want that also. So in this, sometimes this 4 wheel have an imbalance. When imbalance is there, our life become miserable. So Krishna already told this world is dukkhalayam ashashatam. We know that we don't get pleasure by serving our senses, serving our relatives, serving our friends. They are not true friends. The real friend is Radha Krishna only. When we serve them, they will immensely reciprocate us. We know that. So the weeds which are in the life are compared to all these things, family life and everything. Once Sridhar Swami, the old not our Maharaj, one who wrote, purport of Bhagavatam and everything. He was not ready to marry. Somehow he got married. And he told wife, if the child is born, immediately I will leave and I will take sannyas. So the child was born. Unfortunately, the wife died during delivery. And now he is in dilemma what to do. Then he saw a lizard giving a birth to a child. And the lizard child offspring fell down. It started moving immediately and catch the prey. whatever necessary. So he saw that, immediately left the child. Of course, the neighbors were looking afterwards. So he was completely depending on the nature, that's Lord. Everyone is looked after by it. We know that all the four, tortoise, fish, just to mentally, seeing. Sometimes they see the eggs and meditate on the offspring. They will hatch from the egg too, and fish also many times we see that. So nature has got its own power to help whatever offsprings are coming. And if you see giraffe, which as soon as the child is born, it kicks 3 times. First kick, child is so much, in agony of delivery, afterwards pain, everything, but it gets up. Second kick, it started, why mother is kicking, not loving me. And the third kick, it started earning it. Because the flesh of giraffe, so much, a demand. Everyone, because it's very tasty, looks like. So it shows how to run it. It teaches, and it becomes independent. So nature gives its own way. So nature gives us so much intelligence with us. We can discriminate which is good and which is bad in a life. Once we know this is bad in our life, we should not attach to that, because it will not have got no value, and it is unwanted growth in our. Especially we are addicted to, some of them are addicted to cigarettes, alcohol, illicit sex. Everything is explained for regulative principle. Not only that, there's pornography is also coming up, videos. Some people are addicted to that. Some people are talking to opposite sex, that also coming out all the time. So unwanted, these things will be root our life, and we will be destined to become addict. So we should think immediately, we should get this weed out immediately, whichever not necessary for our spiritual life. Otherwise, all the time we are anchoring for more and more of these things, and we are almost entangled with that. So Krishna says, with my knowledge knife, I can remove that. Krishna is helping us in every way to get out from this miserable condition and go back to Godhead nicely, because those who are subjected to this material, they will stay back, or they may go with their pious activities to higher planet. Higher planet doesn't take you back to Godhead. We have to come back once our pious activity is over. So in Bhagavad Gita also, if you see in 2.16, it is say, Na shato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubayor api drishto antas tva anayas tattva darshibi. So here it says, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that the non-existent material body, there is no endurance of eternal the soul, there is no change. Thus, they have concluded by studying the nature of both. There is no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the action and reaction of the different cells, is admitted by modern medical science. And thus, the growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite of all the changes of the body and the mind. That's the difference between matter and spirit. By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all classes of seer of the truth, both impersonalist and personalist. In the Vishnu Purana, it is stated that the Vishnu and his abodes all have self-eliminated spiritual existence. Jyotisme Vishnu Bhuvanani Vishnu. The words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. This is the version of all the seers of the truth. It is nicely explained by Krishna here how non-existing and existing material body and soul, because we are eternal, Krishna is eternal, our relation is also eternal. One of the time, Mukunda Goswami was in 1966, Prabhupada wanted a better place. How Prabhupada always, uses the intelligence, and he wants to, talk with people, how nicely he talks, and he forces them one way, or he pleasingly tells them to join Krishna consciousness. So he had a very difficult time because he didn't have any place to stay. So Mukunda Goswami and other people tried to, meet some agent. So they met one Mr. Gardner, very youngish, good-natured man, having nice denim and T-shirt, and he was explaining to him, that agent, the Prabhupada is a scholar, so he is very knowledgeable person. So he wants to work. He wants to work and, deliver the message of the Lord. So he was impressed, that the agent, Mr. Gardner. So he wanted to show him what is that. That is what? The storefront, the gift. We know that in the same way Prabhupada was initial days, what he was doing, preaching there. So that time they were asking for $100 per month. And Prabhupada was very interesting things to say. But he did it, most of the things talking done by his disciple, not Prabhupada. So they brought in the storefront, bachelor's gift now, it's known as, and he was telling there is an apartment also, he can stay there, and that will be $80. So $180 that time, and devotees were ready to, part of it, take part of it, and they will pay it. And he said, okay. Then Prabhupada started. When he started, he said, what is Mridang, what is Harinam, what he is doing, and he used to tell, I want to make you as a trustee and in my society, that is ISKCON society. It is not formed that time, but Prabhupada has got all the ideas to form it. So he said, and what he said, he had 3 volumes of canto, first, second, third part, and he gave to Mr. Gardner. So he was little reluctant to accept that, but when when Prabhupada insisted and Prabhupada signed and gave it, so he was humiliated and honored by the getting these books and said, oh, thank you very much, very kind of you. And then he said, Prabhupada, see, now you are also trustee, so whoever become trustee, they have to pay $20 per month. So you can reduce $20 from the rent, 180 minus 20. So it comes to 160. So he agreed, Gardner. So it shows how powerful acharyas are there, how powerful to convince. So here Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also convincing most of us how this chanting, he once upon a time, he chanted the quotes of names of the Lord, 10 years, 9 years and odd it took. And he was very, very, very strict about these things, because he knows by completely surrender to Krishna while chanting and without disturbance, it gives immense pleasure to ourselves, and it gives a tremendous power to overcome all this, whatever nuisance is there in this material world. That's most important for us. How to get, we always preach, we say, we have got, armies has got armor to protect the bullets. So what we have got, though we used to say, we have got better armor than what the person have, fighting in the war. We have got the armor of Krishna. This first armor is our name. When we say Krishna, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we get armor. Then we get Vaishnava association. That's the second armor we get. And the third armor we get by initiating our spiritual master protects us. And the fourth armor, when we follow all the 4 regulative principles and we, our etiquette and our endeavor in pleasing Krishna, whatever way, whatever level we are in. So these are the 4 armors we get it without paying much. So easily we get. So we need not spend, millions of rupees to get such armor. One of the time, Arjuna gave his son, Abhimanyu, the armor. With that armor, nobody can defeat him. Drona also gave one armor to Duryodhan. But when Abhimanyu was, by cheatingly Karna went, backside of it, tore it, because he's the one been told by one of the acharyas. They only know these tricks. Otherwise, it was impossible anyone to touch Abhimanyu that time. So here, Duryodhana also got the armor. Drona said, "You go. Now you can. Nobody can touch you." So they had power that time to put an armor. But Arjuna knows in the armor what happens. Fingers are not covered with armor because you have to, have arrows. You have to, throw arrows with your bows. When you are in action, you cannot have cover, so it is difficult to handle bow and arrow. So Arjuna was knowing that. So Arjuna, what he did, he injured all the fingers of Duryodhana. So he has to run away. So intelligence people know exactly what to do, when to do, how to do it. The result is always there. So here we start to be, removed, unwanted things. So we should have intelligence which is empowered by our acharyas, empowered by Vaishnavas. We know how to get rid of that, completely taking their advantage of these acharyas and knowing the scriptures very well and praying to the Lord and our gurus, Guru Acharyas. They will get another strength from them. They always. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, after chanting 100 crores of names of the Hari, then all Acharya team came and blessed him. Now you go and preach without any difficulty. We are all there. We are all supporting you. Same thing happened to Prabhupada when he was in, thinking how I can, spread the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the order of my spiritual master. There also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna and Acharyas promised them, you need not worry, we are all supporting it. So this support, which makes enable us to get rid of these weeds in our life, which is more important. So many of the Acharyas' appearance this present day, we have to, think of them to get the blessing, remember them, how much they did so much. Many of the people, if you see there, some of them are very rich by family, but they never attached Narottam Das or Raghunath Das Goswami. So many people in Kadbat, San, Raghunath Bhatt, all these people are well-to-do. They are not ordinary people. But the main purpose of joining, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army, they left everything. And many of them not married also. Some of them are married, but some of them are not married because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you don't marry. Some of them he preached. He himself has married actually. For 24 hours he had married one, Vishnu Priya. So we know how Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after 24 hours, he entirely left his family life and the higher purpose, because sannyasis are very much, respected that time. Now also, most of the sannyasis are respected, especially in ISKCON. So we should see that what is the purpose of this. So though sannyasi is forbidden in Kali Yuga, but we have got so fortunate. We have been much, much fortunate than any other people in the world because we are the shelter of our spiritual master. Most of us, those are initiated or not initiated, all are sheltered because these people are disciplication from Krishna, and Krishna empowers them. And we should, indebted to them many, many lifetimes, how the purity of these Maharajas, most of the Maharajas, purity and, tolerant, we are doing so many mischiefs act in our life, but they are tolerant. They're again preaching to us, and they are correcting us, and they are bringing us to the mainstream of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movements. And we should cooperate in such a way that the weeds which are attached to be removed slowly but steadily, and with our continuous steadiness of continuously chanting and associating and reading and listening and associating with our spiritual master, we are indebted in so many lifetimes. So with that grateful heart, when we chant, always some of the Maharaj insist we should be grateful to Krishna, we should be grateful to Acharyas, we should be grateful to other God brothers, God sisters, and our Guru Maharaj, everyone, if you are grateful, the Krishna loves it, because we have nothing to, we never brought anything in our life. We are born to some family. We have given some education. We have attached so many things on small, children as an adult. So we should know that when to detach and attach to Krishna. When Nishta comes, Asakti comes, then definitely there is, Krishna Prem follows by bhava and other things. So we should know that the process is very simple and it works. It doesn't fail any time. Nobody has failed. If you see most of the acharyas, just by following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, and they are part of their leelas, then what will happen? They are become a respective, devotee, a Vaishnava. So there was one Vridaka Shatra, the king of Sindhu and the father of Jayadatta. When Jayadatta was born, Vridakshatra heard a prophecy that his son's head would be cut off in the battle. He then announced that head of whoever caused Jayadatta's head to fall on the ground would immediately burst into 100 pieces. When Arjuna killed Jayadatta, he employed celestial arrows and carried the head to where Vridakshatra was performing austerity. He stood up, his son's head fell from his lap, and thus he was killed by his own curse. So we should know that why we are so much attached to our son and other things. Many times, many of the people leave a fortune for them so that they can lead a better life. What is better life? We don't know. What they will do with that fortune? We don't know. So whatever necessary for our offspring, our children, relative, we should. Rupa Goswami always says, scriptures always says, out of $100 we earn, $20 we have to spend for ourselves. 20% we have to spend on our future. Future means whatever development, and another $20 we have to keep for old age and other things, and $20 we can give to relatives and friends and other things, and other $20 we have to donate to charitable, like Krishna temple or Vishnu temple, not other temples. So we should know that our alms. So we should know that the scriptures already given as example how Rupa Goswami exactly did the same thing. Yes, but according to Sanatana Goswami, he didn't have much money. He didn't save much because he's not bothered. He's almost like a monk. He's almost like a sadhu from the beginning, behavior-wise, money-wise. So he has got such a powerful post. He didn't bother much. But same time, Rupa Goswami is intelligent. He saved some money which is used in the future. So that is also, both are correct. Srivas Thakur never had any money and he didn't bother. If it comes or not, he knows Krishna will protect him always. So we should know that some of the acharyas, according to their potency, according to their understanding, they followed the scriptures very nicely. Krishna never let them, go. He always supported them in many ways. So we should know that Krishna is always behind us. There is nothing shortage of Krishna conscious in this world. If everyone is Krishna conscious, it would be a wonderful world to live in this. But this is not a permanent place again. We have to go back to Godhead, where we need not have any anxiety, any misery. One of the time, Prabhupada went to Toronto and they were telling there is a place. Initially, Prabhupada said, no, we should not have anxiety. We don't have money, so we should not have anxiety. He told in Chicago to devotees, no, we should not buy because we don't have money. But when he actually, came to Toronto, he said, I want to see the place. Then devotee said, you told in Chicago that we are not supposed to buy. Then Prabhupada said, no, I want to see. When he saw the place, the present temple, he said, we have to buy this place. Then devotees said, how it's possible? We don't have money. We are putting everyone in anxiety. Everyone has to say. He said, for material anxiety, I said no, but spiritual anxiety, to please Krishna, whatever anxiety we take, Krishna will help us. Krishna will reciprocate us. It is a good anxiety. So whenever we get up early in the morning, the anxiety of chanting is good, but we should not deviate. We should not completely have a faith in chanting, the purpose of chanting to please Krishna and call Radharani for the service. Once we know these things beforehand, we should not be having any problem. Anxiety is good in spiritual, like Prabhupada said. So they bought that, I think it is YMCA or something, then they made a temple. So this shows how beautiful the temple has come. Many places we have seen in Houston and many places in Dallas, how this temple is growing, how the congregation is growing, how the congregation want to serve better and better way, how people are attracting so many people, outsiders, Americans and others, how this congregation is moving ahead, like Prabhupada's, dream. Prabhupada wants us to cooperate each other and, come out nicely so that the whole world watches us. They will say, yes, this is Hare Krishna people, very nice. There are some people are, taking unnecessarily, criticize ISKCON people, but it's okay. You can't please 100% people, 99%, 90% is all right for us. Even Prabhupada was criticized by his own God brothers and God sister, but Prabhupada didn't bother about that. It is one of the great, value of Prabhupada. He never, criticized much of his God brother. Sometimes he said something, but it's nice of him, to protect his disciples many ways. But he was thinking they never helped him. In fact, he is the only one army who came, one-man army, and, propagated the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this machine is spreading like a wildfire. We have got so many, more than 650 temples and places where devotees can come together and have a congregation chanting. Yuga Dharma, we know that is a congregation chanting. That's why Prabhupada always instinct, go Nagar Sankirtan, do Nagar Sankirtan. This month we know that it is a marathon month. We always, many of us, including me, we are shy of, distributing books. That should not be. The shyness has to go. We should be bold. Prabhupada used to say always, outside we should be like a tiger. We should force everyone to buy this book. Force means not that way, but nicely telling them why this book is necessary for your life. What is the purpose of this book? What it does? It does miracles. It does miracles in many ways. We have seen there are thousands of examples where, this book says, change their heart. One of the time we have told last time, also many times we have repeated this. We can repeat it now. One of the times where Maharaj was in the station and one girl entered the, I think it is LA or somewhere. She entered and she wanted to sell one book. So he went to one of the coupe and he was advisor to some of the prominent bank, and what he did, he snatched the book from her and he pushed out running train, and she fell down. She had fracture. Maharaj was, taking her and he was treating her. Then he went to home and his servant binded nicely. He was already told, binded nicely, maybe important book lying on the table, dining table. She kept in the bookshelf. So after some time he lost his wife and the child become drug addict and daughter is so many difficulties had. He was about to suicide. By the time he was taking a decision, he took the book, that's Bhagavad Gita, and he started reading it. And after reading it, changed. He was tearful in his eyes. He wanted to see that girl who he went to the temple, wanted to see that girl who he pushed out of the train, and they said that she is there in Rath Yatra. So he went there and he found out that girl. He apologized her and he became a great devotee, and he helped him, because he was a good financier, and he helped that temple also. And later he became a good devotee. The book can transform anything because it is divine book. It is written by Divani A.C. Bhakti Charana Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and he was telling all the time, it's not written by me, it is written by Krishna only. One of the time he was chastising Tamal Krishna Maharaj, why there is change whatever I wrote. Who has given you the authority to change some of the words? By mistake, somebody must have changed a little bit, but Prabhupada knows it is not he, the Krishna advised him to write. It is very pure. We should understand we need not have mental concoction on these books and change any word of it. When it's said, we have to repeat the same thing. Our intelligence with 60 ounce or 30 ounce doesn't change, doesn't give us so much power to change anything because it is already written by the greatest acharyas. Their comments are almost perfect. They may not match each other, but their understanding is much, much, much better than us. So we should respect them. We should, whenever we read any books, we should see Bhakti, Thakur, also Jaiva Dharma, we see that in a story type. But it is so nicely, philosophy is emphasized in every word of it. So when we read it, and we should understand this philosophy is very, very important for us. We cannot change it. And they never change. Who are we to change anything? That's why we should not be fallen on this, false guru. They tell so many things, this is not like, this is not like. We should not listen to them. We have got enough acharyas to advise us. So today is also in India, that is appearance of Lochan Das. So Lochan Das Thakur is one of the very great, devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is born 38 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth. He only was there 10 to 12 years with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other people. So he was only young. And from the young only, he was 1445 to 1540, he was there, almost 95 years he was there in this material world. So he was a very ardent follower of Narahari, his spiritual master, and he read Murari Gupta's diary, and he has also read other Pandit, Damodar Pandit's diary, and he produced immense literature, Chaitanya Mangala. So if you read this Chaitanya Mangala, it is so nicely narrated, the Chaitanya Lila, Balya Lila and other things. Yes, of course, he has given us so many other things. That is what he says. Sutra Kanda, Adi Kanda, Madhya Kanda and Shesha Kanda is divided into that. Sutra Kanda also gives us, initial days of childhood, pastime, everything, and marriage, everything, Adi Kanda. So when there is a complete, description of Vishnu Priya is crying in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because she is telling, I know none other than you. How can you leave me? I am so young. How can I, survive? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining her how he was showing his four-hand form, and he's telling that he is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Or the benefit of the people in this world, those who have fallen, have to be, given some priority rather than sitting at home with you, everything. We can meet in our, private life in Golok Vrindavan. You are also the Pashuddha of ours. You are also a wife of Krishna. So it shows how he explained her, how he left everything, his, family life, Mother Sachi, everyone he left for the purpose. He was explaining nicely, and he gave her, he consoling her, he gave her his own, deity form, and she can worship it. And he was always telling, I am never go from here. I was always there in our deity form. So here also we see our temple has got deity. Krishna is already there. It is there. We have to see that. We have to, whenever we come and see the Lord, we have to see in our spiritual eye, which is given by our spiritual master. See, they are the Lords. They are not ordinary stone. Once we respect them, when we pay obeisances, when we give them prayers, nice prayers, they respond us. Reciprocation is always there. So we hear he is explaining so nicely about his, childhood pastime. He was explaining many things, Adhikanda, everything, where most of the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took place. We are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita here also. This is also one of the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he explains about weeds and everything. So it is very necessary for us to relish Chaitanya Charitamrita in many ways, so that what will happen, we will not bother. Weeds will die off because we are not feeding them. When we don't feed them, we are not prey to our senses. Senses will stop thinking of opposite sex, money, everything. Then when we fast them, they will think this is no use. This is not the good place to stay, because we served them long enough. We served them 8.64 millions of times. We served these masters of senses, but there is no use. They are never satisfied. They will not give us leave. They will not leave us. So we have to leave them instead of they are leaving us. So once we make them fast, then the mind will work nicely for us, favorably. Krishna consciousness. Then it is here is nicely explaining how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood pastime, young pastime, up to 24 hours he has a family, and then after 24 hours how he went to South India, how he went everything. And he gives much more respect to Vrindavan Das Thakur, and he gives also the writer of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishna Das Kaviraj. So we should know that whenever they write, they are more grateful to them. Whenever we talk, we are grateful. iPhone, iPad, everything comes first. That should not be known. These are also the weeds in our life. So everything is I. So we should get rid of that I mentality, and we should, think with grateful heart how these acharyas, how our spiritual master, how our, elder God brothers and God help us to come into Krishna consciousness, advance. That is the reason when they pray for us, all our weeds, anarthas will run away from us, and we will be in pure consciousness of Bhaktilata Beach, which grows very, very nicely without any hindrance. There is no question of stunted growth. When we have got all these obstacles, when we attach to so much the obstacles in the life, then there is a stunted growth. So to avoid this, we have to remember Lochan Das, we have to remember our acharyas. And Lochan Das had his own way of, writing songs. So very famous songs are there are many are there, but two of them are very, very famous. Many of us we sing. One is Akaroda Paramananda. Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Beda Adama Patita Jivere Dware Giya Harinama Mahamantra Dino Bilaya Jare Deko Tare Kahe Dante Trana Dori Amara Kinaya Loho Bhaja Gaura Hari. So lastly he says, what he says, Eno avatara jara ratina janmilo, lochan bole sei papi elo aur gelo. The sinful mentality people, what they do only sins, and they come and they go. Nobody cares for them, nobody weeps for them. So here we should understand how Nityananda was going door to door to beg, please chant the name of Hari, please chant the name of Chaitanya. He was begging them. He is the Lord himself. Lord comes and begs us, please leave this anarthas, please get rid of these weeds. Then we will get what is the treasure that is very, very difficult to get. But here they are giving us without any Patra Naideki. They never see our qualification, though we are most unqualified people in this world. But even then, we are given a nice chance to go. Where to go? Go to back to God. And Krishna is calling us. Another, the famous song he wrote is Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabhavatara Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. Here he says, what he says, Ananda, only Ananda. There is nothing, distress or misery. Just take the name of Hari, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhajo bhajo bhai, Chaitanya nitaye, Sudrishta vishwasa kori, Vishaya chadeya, Sera samajiya, Mukhe bolo Hari Hari, Dekho re bhai, त्रिभुवने नहीं मोले दयाल दाता पशु पक्षी जुरे पाषाण विदरे सुनि जरे गुण गाता संसार मुझिया रोइलो पुरिया से पड़े नहीं ले आशा अपना कर्म बुंजाए क्षमना कहे लोचन दात कहे लोचन दात कहे लोचन दात. All things are given us, all weapons are given us. We are many times foolishly not using this weapon, not to sing the glories of the Lord, not to sing the glories of Acharya, not to sing the glories of our spiritual master. We are miserly, foolish people many times. I am talking about myself only. So we should understand this. This is the greatest opportunity we got to ourselves, release from this material stupidity world and go back to our original place, that is Jiveri Surupave Krishna Nityadas. Then everything is fine. I stop here. Any correction is there, please let me know. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, thank you so much for a very beautiful class with so much.
You always appreciate. I don't know whether it's beautiful.
And also about Lochan Das Thakur. So nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for all the effort you have put in preparing and presenting this class. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much appreciating me. I am not qualified for this appreciation. Hare Krishna, anybody has got any correction?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the class. If you could just repeat what you said, those 4 items of armor are that we've been given.
Yeah, first armor when we have actually get initiated. That is the third armor. First armor when we follow Krishna consciousness. When we come to Krishna consciousness by our, Sukruti. That is the first armor Krishna gives by name, taking the name. Second armor we always get. Of course, it is, I can mix it. I cannot give same way. The second armor when we are initiated from spiritual master, when he protects us. And the third armor when we remember Acharya's, appearance and disappearance day, and we surrender to them. We pray to them. So they give us strength. Even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, if you see them, how they are praying, they are telling, Sarvasa, means they are telling, we are like dog, we are just like dog, but the high quality of them, thinking they are lower than the blade of grass, and praying to Acharyas, they are immensely gives our third protected. And when we follow this 4 regulative principle, and we respect Acharyas, we follow them, and going to temple and see the deity and praying them, please protect me. Even Prabhupada was London, he was praying to the Lord, Londoneshwar. So he was praying that give me strength to protect me. So, though these acharyas are very well protected themselves with their behavior, but they also need some protection from the Lord. These are the 4, armor we should ask for, we should beg for, then it will come. It's not easy, but we can try to get this armor because of our, sincerity and nice prayers. Then, chanting also, we will get this armor. Then we are not deviated. Nothing can, come in our way, proceeding back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji, for the question.
Yeah, so just to see if I got you properly. So One armor is just when we make the decision to
come to Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, to take to this
correct.
path. And then the second armor is when we take initiation.
Correct.
And the third armor is when we pray to acharyas for protection.
Yes.
And then fourth is
Krishna also, and our four regulative principle. When we sincerely adherent to our whatever oath we have taken in front of them without deviating, that itself is the fourth armor we'll get. There are many armors, in fact, we cannot calculate, but I simplified it, that's all.
Yeah, actually, that was answering another question, because I was thinking the same thing, that there's so many items of, armor.
Yeah, devotional service. Yeah,
devotional service. So I was wondering how you focused on these four.
Mainly I focused on we can add so many things, because whenever Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, if you see Vashidhar Swami Maharaj, when they have been so much protected by Krishna, most of they wanted to, everyone is telling Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, go to Vrindavan, leave the body. But what happened? Krishna arranged Brajvasi to come there. Yeah. All the way the Brajvasis came to Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj in the last day, that. So Krishna arranges all these things. That shows how we are protected. How this, I gave a mundane, example of armor, but actually it is much, much better than what Krishna gives us.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji, can we stop if nobody has got any correction?
Anyone else has anything to ask or add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I like the stories you added. Short stories, and especially the Sridhar Swami story. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for joining and a very lively discussion. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the very sweet.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance on all Vaishnavis. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, हिज ग्रेस मुरारी वल्लभ प्रभु
हरि बोल, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.